Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Thursday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tonight we are working on Griffin the cat. It's not the Griffin the cat that I think Larry's talking about. This is a friend of mine's daughter's cat that passed away. So it's kind of like a memorial picture. But it's a very beautiful cat, as most cats are. Like I love cats. Cats are so much fun to draw. They're so cute. But yeah, so that's what we're working on tonight. Hopefully that's cool with everybody. You guys know the drill. If that's not your thing, then at least hang out and chat with us because that's what it's all about. So I see that. Okay, Larry's in the room. We got Kid in the room, and we got the dog back here. Dog back here sleeping. So I think we're good to go. Gonna just hop on in. So I've already kind of like sketched out where I want the cat to be on the page just because I wasn't sure on the layout. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Feel free to hang out and chat with me. These cats usually take a little while, so I wanted to get started pretty quick. So I am doing this a little bit different than what I usually do. I usually do like, white on black paper. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and use a couple of colors because they work with this cat. And also, as you can see, my white pencil is getting very stubby. I need to make a trip to the art store and pick up another one of these things. Fortunately, you don't have to buy with these Prismacolor colored pencils. You don't have to buy like an entire set. You can get like an individual white pencil and stuff, which I think is what I'll do. I forget what they cost. That's why it's so stubby. I keep dropping them and breaking the lead on them. But I forget what like an individual one costs, but certainly it's a lot cheaper than buying an entire set. But anyway, this is the color that works for this cat, so I'm just gonna jump in with doing that. We got a Rum Dog in the house too. Cool. So hopefully you guys had a good week and are looking forward to the weekend. Um, I don't have any immediate plans this weekend, so if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Obviously, I need to make a run to the art store and pick up some supplies, but beyond that, I got nothing, guys. I got nothing. I'm gonna probably go and get my flu shot and COVID shot tomorrow. That usually makes me feel sick for like at least a day. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna marathon some TV tomorrow while recovering from that. Like whenever I get those shots, like I'm okay throughout the day, but then when it starts getting to evening, I start getting like a big old headache. Uh, it's always been the case. Like I've gotten the COVID shot every year since it came out. Just because I have some older people around me and I don't want to get them sick. So I do the COVID thing. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it works for me. Except when it doesn't. Like when I first get the shot, I just feel like crap. So I'm gonna feel like crap tomorrow night. It's gonna suck. But that's okay. I'll just watch some TV. Get caught up on my shows. But yeah, like I get a headache at night and then like late at night I start getting the chills and stuff. But it's only like it's done by the morning, so I'll be all right. But that frees up my entire weekend. That's like my entire weekend plans. I'm gonna go get a shot. That's no good. Meet my buddy down at a coffee shop tomorrow. That's kind of cool. I like hanging out with him. These plans sound really boring now that I'm saying them out loud. I need to get something better. Oh, Mama Q's in the house. Yeah, so this is I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is Mama Q's daughter's cat that passed away. So I got a little bit of pressure on me to make a really cool picture here, but I think it'll work. I like doing kitties, and this is a beautiful cat, so this one's gonna be pretty easy. We need to get Tom in here. He's a big cat lover. He likes cats. So I've always been around cats growing up, but I was just thinking recently, nobody in my family was really big on cats. As far back as I can remember, like my aunts and uncles and mostly my uncles, they were not really into cats. So I don't know where I got my love of cats from. I've always loved cats though. I like how self-sufficient they are. I love how they like I love them for every reason that the opposite of why I love dogs. I love dogs because they are dependent. They are very affectionate. They do want your care and stuff like that. Cats don't care. Cats don't care about any of that stuff. And while I like dogs better, I appreciate the cat's independence. But yeah, I've had a bunch of cats over the years. Larry says, growing up, we always had both. Yeah, I think in my household we always had a dog. Every now and then we had cats. I know my dad wasn't a big cat person, but I don't know. I don't know if like he wasn't a big cat person or his siblings weren't big cat people and therefore he thought he wasn't, but he's always liked cats. He doesn't like cats coming up and like cuddling with him and things like that. But I had a coworker one time that was actually scared of cats. Hey, I'm a little bit scared of cats. Um, like there's that whole I mean this isn't the reason why I'm scared of cats. I'm scared of cats because like I think if I I think if something ever happened to me, like if I just like passed out or something and nobody was around, I might wake up to a cat eating me. I like you always wonder about that with your pets, like would this pet eat me if like I died or like passed out or something like that. I have no doubt that my cat would eat me. But that's not the real reason why I'm like um, afraid of cats. There's the um there's a legend that cats like steal your soul or something. Like they crawl up on you and like suck your breath out. Now that seems like not plausible just because like I don't know, I don't believe in the superstition, but they will climb up on you and try to steal your breath. Exactly, kid. They'll climb up on you and sit on your chest and just stare at you in the middle of the night. Um, So I don't think that's a good enough reason to be afraid of cats because it's just superstition and stuff. But and I think the problem is that I'm not convinced that a cat can steal your soul because like that's nuts, right? Cat's not going to be able to steal your soul. But my problem is that I think the cat wants to. I think the cat's making a solid effort to try to steal my soul, whether it's successful or not. Larry said he wouldn't eat you, he would only steal your breath. Yeah, so I don't believe that cats actually do steal people's breaths, but I think they want to. I think they're trying really hard. And I think that's just as bad as being successful. Like, well, obviously, it's worse to be for the cat to actually steal your breath, but I think they're trying. I think they're trying really hard. And you know, I don't know if that means that you should be afraid of cats, but it's a solid reason for concern. Now, I don't believe that with this cat. This cat's adorable, but just cats on by and large. I'm just joking, of course. I love cats. Cats are adorable. I like cats because they do funny things. They're like I really do believe that cats are smarter than dogs. Like cats are like not necessarily calculating. That seems kind of negative. But they certainly are smarter. Like a dog is cute because the dog doesn't realize it's doing cute things. The dog is dumb. The cat knows what it's doing. The cat's like, I'm playing with the ball or like the yarn and everything. The cat knows what it's doing. Geez, Rome. Rome says my uncle has like 20 something cats. Wow. So at nighttime they climb on him and yeah, like 20 cats. That's crazy. I would love to have 20 cats, to be honest. Like, I would like to have a big old cat sanctuary. That would be cool. Just like 20 cats, not 20 cats in a house or something, but just 20 cats in like, I don't know, like a yard or something like that. Emma, hey, Emma, how's it going? Hey, it's Mom McHugh's daughter. Oh, cool. This has been a real, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I should probably, tone it down a little bit. I'm just happy to see you. This has been a really emotional time for us after losing our Griffin. Thank you so much for creating this piece and helping us cope with the loss. He was the sweetest boy. I get that. I really do from looking at the photos. He looks adorable. He looks like a really, really nice cat. So my condolences to you and yours. I know it's a trying time. Whenever we lose pets, it is the worst. It really is. There's I honestly believe there is nothing worse in life that you would get. Like, I don't know, maybe losing a like a family member or something like that. Maybe. But pets are just it's just as tough as like losing a family member, in my opinion. Um, I've had a number of pets pass away over the years and stuff, and I haven't gotten over any of them, to be honest. Some of them it gets a little bit they say that things things get better with time, and that is true, but you never really forget them. Like I remember every single one that I have. I've got photos all over the place and stuff in my house. But yeah, this definitely looks like a good boy. Emma, it's a pleasure to meet you, by the way. It's my honor to draw your cat. Again, I said before, this is the most meaningful way of using whatever talent I might have at drawing, like such as it is. Um, you know, Drawing these things for people who's lost their pets and stuff is extremely rewarding. It makes me feel like I'm doing something useful. But you guys see the process. I mean, the process is just basically you're kind of building up layers of fur and details and trying to bring the essence of the kitty out of the paper. And you know, it's always a little bit tougher when you're doing a portrait of like just like not just a cat, but Griffin the cat. Like it's a little bit tougher because you want to capture um, not just its likeness, but also like his personality and all the different things that people noticed and respected in life. You want to kind of capture those things. I can imagine it's been terribly difficult. Emma says, "You make beautiful art, and I'm honored." Oh, thank you. Honestly, the honor is all mine. Yeah, when your mom said, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, absolutely." Because I do a lot of dumb pictures too. Like not all my pictures are meaningful. Um, if I wasn't drawing your beautiful cat, I'd be drawing Beetlejuice tonight, and that's kind of dumb. So I'd much rather work on things like this that are actually important. Um, Either Beetlejuice or Deadpool or I don't know, something dumb. But I don't know. If it was up to me, I would always be doing people's pets, just because people really enjoy it. Like you do somebody's you draw somebody's pet, and that's something that lasts. I don't know. My hope is that this picture will stay with you guys for like as long as you want. I mean, I could be drawing on like notebook paper or something like that with like a ballpoint pen, but that's not going to survive the test of time. I always like to use things that would, so that like this paper is archival quality. It's not going to like fade or age or anything like that. And, you put in a frame, you got to keep safe well, for as long as yours are my lifetime at least. Rum Dog says, I am also drawing a kitty that did come home for one of Rome's fans. Nice. That's awesome. I really do like it when people who do art draw along with this show and stuff. That's really kind of cool. I still want to do one of those things where maybe we're doing like a one of those StreamYard chats or Zoom chats or whatever it is that you can have multiple people on screen. That would be kind of cool to do like just a big drawing festival, I guess. I don't know, like in the real world, you can go to like a drawing party or a painting party or something where everybody's like doing a thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. In fact, I don't think that would be hard to set up. So what I could do is I could get like a photo of something, just something I think that would be interesting for us to work on, and then maybe give you guys like a heads up, like ahead of time, put it on the community tab and say, hey, you know, this this Thursday or something like that, when we get together, we're all gonna try to draw this and stuff, and then like everybody does it in their own style, their own media. Like if you paint, you can paint it. If you draw, you can draw it. But we would all be kind of like interpreting the same reference, I guess. And I think that'd be kind of a cool way to do it. And then if we could do like a Zoom or something like that where anybody can kind of like join in, that'd be kind of cool. I'd have to look into that though. I've never done like a I've been on other people's like multiple stream type deals. Like I don't even know what to call it, but I've never set one up. I don't think it'd be that hard. Like obviously I can do like a Zoom call. I just don't know how to put the Zoom call into this. I know that there's a service called StreamYard. I can do it through that. I'll probably end up doing that at some point. Probably this winter. When everybody's like stuck indoors. It's still pretty much summertime. People are out having a good time. Um, So that might be like a winter thing. Either way, I think it'd be fun. I know that there are a lot of people who watch this who are artists and, you know, want to participate more directly. Plus, it takes some of the pressure off of me. I don't have to create something really beautiful if like all of you guys are doing it as well. You know, I could be like, oh, my picture sucks. I'm gonna switch over to somebody else's and watch them for a little bit. I think that'd be cool. So this is looking okay, but it's still looking a little bit rough. It'll get better as we start filling some of this stuff in. It's just, the process is you just create these like little light layers and then you start building it up. Um, Kind of refining. I call it rendering. You're refining the image over time. Ah, this is why all of my pencils are dying. They're all like stumps and stuff, but that's okay. I have a pencil sharpener here. You guys get to see the boring part where I actually sharpen these pencils. And then it becomes a stub because probably like a millimeter or two down, it's cracked again. Because I'm so clumsy. Well, it's actually because I drink. Yeah. And I get clumsy with my pencils and I drop them on the floor. And that probably is contributing to them cracking all throughout. Like, I could take better care of them, but I don't. Ordinarily, I would just switch to a different pencil, but I'm actually liking this color on the black. I think it's coming out pretty good in terms of what Griffin actually. So Griffin's this really light. I'm gonna say, well, I mean, he's tan, but I'm gonna say almost like at least in the photos I've got, he's almost like a cream color. Like if you had coffee and you added like a decent amount of cream to it, that's what I would call Griffin. Okay, Larry's beat me to it. Like, what color is it with Griffin? So my just looking at this reference photo, my guess is like kind of like a creamy-ish color, but it could just be like the pictures I've got. That's one of the tough things because like when people send you photos to work from, it's always nice to have a couple of them so that you can kind of average them out because like if you get like just one photo or something, you don't really know. It's hard to tell because in that particular lighting, the cat might be a different color than um, what he is normally, and it's tough because like obviously I don't have access to Emma's mind or Mama Q's mind or anybody. Oh, Lorraine's in here too. Hey, Lorraine. Sorry. You come in so quietly, like you sneak in. But anyway, obviously, I don't have access to their mind, so I don't know how they remember Griffin. So it's tough. You just kind of have to do your best, really. And I'm not always perfect at this. Hopefully, they grade me on a curve, but it's the thought that counts, and I try hard. That's the important thing. You really have to just try your best. So, um, my best guess is cream color, and on this black paper, this is kind of like almost a peach, kind of a peach color and stuff, and it comes out looking cream color on the black paper. Again, I'd be inclined to do it in white, but I don't think white really does it service because it's not a white cat. So I think I'm making the right choice here. We'll see. We'll see when it. I don't want to pat myself on the back and say, Jeremy, you're a genius until it's done, you know. But I think this little guy's gonna look good. Gonna look scoopable, as his kid calls it. That's my sole goal in life when drawing pets is I want to make them look scoopable. My own pet's been going nuts today. Like you can see him back here, Guinness. He's been like an absolute monster today. I don't know, like if he got into something or not, but he seems like he drank, I don't know, like 5 cups of coffee. He's just been wired all day. Like he won't sit still, running around, doing everything, just being generally annoying. I'd be mad at him, but he's so adorable. Like whenever he does stuff that annoys me, it's still super cute, and it's hard to be mad at him. Now he's trying to dig a hole. So this studio of mine is actually on the second floor. I think he's trying to dig a hole through the floor. Anyway, so the tough part here is that I have to kind of like decide where on the paper, most of his presences and what parts to leave out. Um, I would love to show you guys this photo I'm working from, but I forgot to set it up so that I could show it to you guys. But like Griffin's sitting in like a sink, so I can't show his paws and stuff like that. But I think the composition I worked out is going to work. But I just wanted to mention that because I had a cat. We named him Ghost. He was the best cat. Ghost was so this is like just dealing with loss and stuff. Ghost was a tough one because Ghost was my little buddy. He was the best cat. So like when you have a dog, it's natural for the dog to just jump in the car and be ready to go. Cats, at least in my experience, don't really like driving in cars. But Ghost did. Ghost was like the perfect travel buddy. He would hop in the car, like you'd put him in the car, and he would go and just sit there and chill for the entire ride, like it's on, like he was sitting on like a shelf or something. Um, but he was the best. And when he was a like a little kitty, he would lay in the sink as well and just kind of curl up. So I wonder if that's like something pretty common that like a lot of cats do because like Griffin did it, and then my cat Ghost did it. I had another cat, kind of smart. He learned how to drink out of the faucet. Now you'd have to turn the faucet on. He couldn't turn it on himself. But once he did, he would drink out of the faucet, like like I don't know, like anybody drinking out of a water fountain. I thought that was cute. I thought that was the smartest cat ever. I feel like that cat, I could have just left the water running and gone away for a few days and he would have been fine. Emma says he was cream colored with a really fluffy tail. Let's see. I can get part of the tail in. I think the tail would be down here. So I'll try to work that in. Cream colored with a really fluffy tail. I appreciate that input. Thank you. The neighbors thought he was a fox. Yeah, he's got a very fox-like face. That's great. I love it. But yeah, he's got a very fox-like face. Um, Adorable cat, really. I want to get a new kitten. Like I've got a cat now, but I kind of want a kitten. I want a new puppy too. I just want all the things. I want a bird. I want a fish. I want to set up an aquarium. And like I kind of want to set up an aquarium, but not like with tropical fish and all the stuff that people normally do. I want like swamp water in there. I want a swampy looking fish tank with a turtle in there and some fish, and that's what I want, which would look weird. see. Uh, I need to bring this down a little bit, make some adjustments here. So one of the reasons why you draw so light is that you can fix some issues if you need to. I was looking at this and one of my eyes is slightly bigger than the other, so I'm going to bring this one down a little bit because he's got these beautiful big eyes. I kind of want to make those sort of adjustments. I think that a little bit better. So you draw really light at first, and then you can make changes like that. It's always tough to erase these colored pencils because they're like wax based. But if you keep things light, I find that you are able to do it. Uh, Jeremy had a cat that likes to lay in the sink too. Yes, yeah, I was just telling that story. That's my cat Ghost. Um, he's no longer with me, but maybe he is in like ghost form. I like that. I actually do think that some of my pets come back and haunt me, um, which is cool. I want them to. And by haunting me, I don't, it's not like I see the cat. Well, maybe sometimes out of the corner of my eye, I think I see these cats. Cats in particular, like my dogs don't seem to want to haunt me, but cats seem to. And more often it's like in dreams. So like I still have dreams of pets that have been gone for like 10 years and stuff. And um I don't know how dreams work or like any of that stuff. I'm not making any claims here, but it feels like they're dropping in to say hi. Whether that's actually the case or not, I don't know. Believe whatever you want, but for me, it feels like that, and it definitely brings me some comfort. So I like to look at it as like these little guys, these little guys in life, all they want is to make us happy and bring us comfort and joy, and they do. And I don't think that ends. I don't think that stops after they pass away. I think, maybe they visit you in your dreams, and maybe they, and maybe they just exist in your memory. I don't know, but they're always there. And I like to look at it as like, uh, they never go away. It's just at some point you carry them with you. You know, it's kind of it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like before they were there, you know, in person, and now you're carrying them in your memory. So, but they never really go away. That's the way I like to look at it, though. At least um, everybody everybody has their own way of looking at it, but that's my point of view. Just recently, like this past year, my parents had two dogs that had passed away. They were both older dogs. One of them had cancer. The other one just died of old age, I guess. I don't really know what happened to her, but she just kind of gave up the ghost one day, and it's been pretty tough. The one dog, his name was Grizzly. He was just so fun to be around, and that was just it must be maybe about a year ago. That one was a tough one. And then their other dog, Friday, was just an older dog, like it's like your quintessential older dog, just sat around farting all the time and everything, just like his old dogs do. Um, but she had a pretty good life, I think, and she just passed away pretty recently too. So those animals are on my mind right now. But it doesn't really get any easier. And then my bunny rabbit just passed away. I told you guys about that. It's a little bit easier with the bunny because the bunny was an outdoor bunny, so it's not like I saw the bunny all the time. And that's kind of how these pets haunt me, Like the bunny lived in the backyard in a cage in the backyard. So like whenever I'm in the backyard, I'm very aware that, you know, the bunny's gone. But as long as I don't go in the backyard, out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to sweat it. But that sort of is how these guys haunt me. So Friday, my parents' dog was always like in the living room. So whenever I'm in the living room, it just crosses my mind at some point that Friday's not there, and that's a little bit tougher. Again, these guys, they never really go away. I do like drawing cats. Like these eyes, they just like really they stare back at you. You know, sinks are the best snapping spot for real. I like to think that when you pass away, all of your fur babies guide you to your next adventure. So we'll see them again. That's a great way to look at it. I agree with that, Emma. I really do. Um, I am looking forward to meeting them all. Um, and I kind of prepared for that because, like, this is the joke, but it's kind of serious. So, like, I have two dogs that live with me right now, and I'm always telling each of them that they're my favorite, right? So when Bear is around, I'm like, "You're my favorite brown dog," and whenever Guinness is around, I'm like, "You're my favorite black dog," right? Because at some point, you know, when you all meet up with all of your pets that you used to have and over the years and stuff, there's gonna be some jealousy there, I think, you know, because they're like all gonna be like, "Wait a minute, I thought I was the best boy," and you know, so I'm preparing them now by like telling them all that they're all the best boy. I'm joking, but I do that actually. I'm like you're the best brown dog. I mean because she is. Bear is the best brown dog. Ain't that right, Bear? She's sleeping. But yeah, I always thought about that, like how awkward it would be for like all your pets to just kind of meet up. But you know, I think they probably all like hang out together. That's my thought. Like Mocha was my best friend. That was a tough loss when she passed away because like she was, I mean, everywhere I went, she went with me. Um, like there was so much fur in my car. Like it was just wall to wall fur everywhere. You know, I could never wear black because like basically mocha fur was all over my car. It was ridiculous. I have a friend that needed a ride. I went to go pick him up and he looks at my car. He's like, "Whoa, what happened here?" Because it looked like Chewbacca had like just basically shed all over my passenger seat. But anyway, that's my dog Mocha. That's the one I'm really looking forward to because he was the best. She was sorry the best dog. I mean, not really. Like they're all the best dog, but she's one that I miss a lot because I spent so much time with her. You know, she had like honestly best buds. You know, Boy and his dog. We wouldn't have Franny, but our youngest left him when he moved out. How old is Franny? Franny is a him. Just about 9 or 10. Hmm. A good solid age for a dog or a cat. I don't know whichever one we're talking about. Back of the couch is a good spot to look down on people. That's where my cat and my dog hang out. So Guinness thinks he's a cat. So the back of my cat couch is where my cat usually likes to lay, but whenever my cat's not there, my dog is. And he just likes to lay. Like I've got an adorable picture of Guinness with one of my cats on the back of the couch, and it's so cute because like he really does think he's a cat. Sorry, I'm taking a little bit extra time around the eyes because the eyes are really like, you know, the windows to the soul. Like when the cat is actually trying to suck your soul out through your mouth and stuff, they're doing it with their eyes. Like it's there's a little bit of hypnotism going on. So you got to get the eyes right, I think, or at least spend some time on them. I'm not in any hurry, by the way. Like if this doesn't get done tonight, that's totally fine. I've got another picture that I'm doing. For Ben and Ashley, their dog passed away. I'm still working on that, and Larry can tell you, like I worked on his picture forever. Um, it's just because like I want them to look right. You know, I don't want to phone it in. It'd be different if I was just drawing a generic cat. You know, like if I wasn't drawing somebody's family member essentially. If I was just drawing a generic cat, you know, it's like whenever it looks enough like a cat, I'm done. But this is not that. I want to make sure I get it right. So A little bit of reworking here and there. We'll get it right. But it really is just, being patient. That's one of the things I love about art, to be honest. It's like, different people like do different things to wind down. Uh, I've never like really succeeded at meditation because like meditation requires you to like clear your mind and just all that stuff. I've never really like succeeded at that by just sitting there and trying to be zoned out like in meditation and made it meditative state, sorry. um but when I draw, that's exactly what it is. It's like I just kind of zone out and go into my own little world, and it's like super relaxing. um but it is 100% meditation, and what I like about it is like I was never able to achieve that just by willing it to be. It's like if I tried to go to sleep and just like told myself go to sleep or something, I could never do it. I just have to like zone, like drift off or whatever. But when I'm drawing, it is like meditation for me, and it's super relaxing. It clears my head. If I wasn't talking to you guys, I would probably just be off in my own little thoughts and stuff, thinking about things I want to get done, or the weekend, or something like that. But I love it. So yeah, sometimes I forget what I was talking about. My point is, you don't only, you don't just need to have patience. There's no downside to exhibiting patience, right? So like if you get like kind of bored and frustrated and stuff, just put it to the side and come back to it, or something, because like the whole idea is that you just kind of zone out and enjoy yourself. So that's not something that you're trying to rush. If you're trying to rush it, you're really doing it wrong. Like that's the problem with doing this stuff commercially, I think, is like you feel like you're on a schedule, or maybe you have a boss or something. Like if you're doing like commercial art, um, you have like time constraints and stuff. I mean, some of those things are good for motivation or whatever, but they really, really kind of just destroy the creative process, I think. Lorraine says all the pets are special. All have such different personalities. That is so true. Lorraine says, when I was growing up, we had cats, dogs, hamsters, turtles, and birds. Busy house. That sounds great. Like, that'd be awesome if they were like all there at the same time. I didn't have a hamster. Well, somebody had a hamster in the house, but I don't think it was mine. Maybe I was caring for a hamster at one point. I remember a hamster being in the house, but I don't remember it being my hamster. Um, but I did have a mouse at one point. A little, I think it was a rat. I don't know, but I don't know the difference between a mouse and a rat. It's pretty big. It wasn't like a little church mouse. But I had a mouse. He was a white mouse, and I was a fan of the Looney Tunes Animaniacs, and they had Pinky and the Brain. I don't know if anybody ever watched those cartoons back in the day, um, but I named him Pinky. He was just the best. Uh, he, I count Pinky like I count the rabbit. They they're not like a big deal. It's not like you hang out with them all the time. It's not like you watch movies together or anything like that. They're just around, and they don't harm anybody. They're just there doing their own thing. Sometimes you look on them and they're doing something cute, something like that only animals do. And you just have this appreciation for them, even though they're not like a major influence on your life. Um, so I say that just to let you know that when Pinky passed away, I was devastated. I don't even know what was wrong with me, but I just started bawling, just like the tears pouring out. And I don't know why, because I'm not a super emotional person. I don't know what came over me, but Pinky was a tough loss. Just because I don't know. It's the same thing I said about when the rabbit passed away. It's like he never bothered anybody. He was just there doing his own thing, and for some reason, that's sadder to me. It's sadder to me that when um, animals that just like live a peaceful life just pass away. It's I don't know. Even thinking about it now, like Pinky passing away was just devastating. I don't know exactly why either, but you know, that's how emotions are. You don't really control them; they control you. But yeah, I was just I was reduced to like I don't know, like little 9-year-old boy or something who just lost his hamster. But and I'm saying, oh, I should mention like when Pinky passed away, I was an adult. Like that, I had the I had that rat when I was an adult, and it still devastated me. Yeah, I should probably added that context. I'm sitting there like, well, a 9-year-old boy crying over his dead mouse isn't too bad. And yeah, I was at least I was in my 20s at some point. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having another mouse. I just like animals that just do their own thing. I probably would never have a snake. I don't know about snakes. Like they don't do cute things. They don't do anything. Like it has to be like a furry creature or something, or a bird. I like birds. A pony would be awesome. Lorraine's got the right idea. Mommy Q says we used to have a horse and a pony, chickens and a guinea fowl, but just dogs and cats now. Someone buy me a pony. Yeah, I would love to have a pony. I live in horse country, and a lot of my friends actually have horses, and they let me come over and visit, but it's not the same. Like, if I wanted to go and visit somebody else's pony, I could totally do that anytime, like tomorrow. Like, if I wanted to go see a horse or a pony tomorrow, I can totally do that. Anyone know the difference between a horse and a pony? Pop quiz. Don't look it up. If somebody in the chat can tell me what the difference is between a pony and a horse without cheating, I will say good job. And I will do a drawing for you at some point. Yeah, we should do like little quizzes and stuff sometimes, but no, no cheating. And if somebody doesn't mention it in the next, it is a height. Can you tell me the specific height? I actually remember this from my days of working at the United States Equestrian Federation. Because like I had to take tests. I don't know a lot about horses. I really don't. But like for every job, you had to take horses. So I mean tests and stuff. And their uh, their test was on basic horse knowledge. Rum dog, that is incorrect. But you're thinking in the right metrics at least. And I will give you a clue. It is a little bit under, but you're thinking correctly. Does anybody know like how many like what a hand actually is? Got a couple of guesses in here. I'll let one more person guess, and then I'll tell you the answer. Lorraine says 6 hands. That is incorrect. So the correct answer is 14.2 hands high. Is the cutoff for a pony. 14.2 hands high. And a hand, Relentless Mind Works is pretty close. A hand is I think 4.5 inches. I don't think it's 5.5 inches. I want to say it's four something, but anyway, feel free to check my work, look it up and everything, but it's 14.2 hands high. Anything bigger than that is not a pony, it is a horse. And I know that from my days of working with horse people at a horse organization for quite some time. I worked there for quite a bit. And the thing is, it's like I never really stopped working with them because, like, I mean, I don't, I no longer work there, but I still work with horse people all the time. Just because of where I live, that's what you have. Like everybody around here is into horses. Uh, some of some of the people around here are into like racing horses. Some of them are into like competing horses. Some of them just love horses and just take care of horses and stuff. Like all of my friends, I don't think they compete. So a pony is not a young horse. A young horse is uh, well, I mean, you can have a young pony, but those are really dependent upon the gender. And the genders are you have a colt, a filly, and then a gelding. Those are there's three genders when it comes to horses. Like all that gender stuff that's in the news and stuff where people are like, there's only two genders. Well, when horses with horses, you have three genders. So Relentless Mind Work says, I'm watching uh, nine in my phone as Relentless and on Xbox's Warhorse KA bar, boosting them views for you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, gelding is definitely there's something cut off there. And then it also depends on like how so like they're not born with the gender, which is odd. Horses, they get their gender as the longer that they live because when they first start off, they're all like yearlings until that time is up. Then they're assigned their gender. It's so weird. It's so weird when you think about it. But technically speaking, they don't even have a gender at birth because they haven't lived long enough. But yeah, they're classified as so like a male adult horse is a stallion, female adult horse is a mare, and then you have the geldings. Like, you know, people think of geldings as males, but they're not. They're technically a different gender. On paper at least. I don't know like the science of it or whatever. I'm just saying on paper they count them differently. So, a little fun fact for you. But yeah, 14.2 hands high is what you got for a the height of a pony, and hands are roughly around 4 inches. I don't know. It might be a little bit more than 4 inches. You guys can look that up. But basically, it's literally like your hand, right? The width of your hand. Of course, everybody's hand's different, but I mean, it's the same with foot. Like everybody's feet are different, but you still have 12 inches on like a foot in the old imperial system. All you Europeans with your metrics and stuff might as well be making it up. That whole like metrics to imperial conversions and stuff, I always struggle with that. I always have to like look it up in Google. Okay, Larry says, I'm not familiar with the science of horseology. Yeah, I'm not either. It's just things that I remember from working there. I'm a software developer, so I dealt with like databases and making sure the website was up and things like that. I don't know a lot about horses. I have a deep appreciation for horses, but and all that stuff that the science of it and stuff that's lost on me. Relentless Mind Work says the horse version of a steer. Yes. A filly becomes a mare after she becomes a mother, right? No, I think she becomes a mare just based on age. So like a teenager becomes an adult, a teenage horse becomes like a teenage filly becomes a mare, regardless of whether they have like a child or anything like that. Now, if they have a child, a female horse becomes a dame, and let's see, the male version of that is a sire. So when they do the genealogy or the pedigree of a horse, um, it's the dam sire, and it's always in that order too. So like the dam is more important than the sire, but that's basically the mother and father. And that's the terms they use, which is really important when it comes to like like horse racing and stuff because obviously they care about getting the right genes in to create the perfect racehorse and stuff. So that's a big deal. In the horse world and stuff like that. There's a lot of money thrown around breeding of horses. and developing the perfect horse for racing or sports or things like that. So like, you hear about famous horses like Secretariat or Man of War or um, horses of that nature and stuff. Those horses, they have a long genealogy line because in fact, and like you'd have to look it up, but many of the horses that went on to win subsequent um, like Kentucky Derbies and like Triple Crowns and stuff like that, they're all sired somewhere down the line by Secretariat and Man of War and so on. It's just like one big like inbreeding mess when it comes to racehorses. So like if you had a horse that was like, their grandsire or great grandsire was Man of War or something like that, then that horse is worth some more money than, I don't know, some horse you found just in some generic field or something here in Kentucky. So I mean it's the same way with like dogs and stuff, purebred dogs and stuff, I guess. Maybe not to the extent that like you have famous dogs that you know it's worth more to breed with. I have no idea. Like I don't understand that part. I just know that the genealogy of horse like Man of War and stuff is pretty crazy. Larry is always at horseplay. Yes, Larry will be here all week. If he's not, we guys about to bring him in. Yeah, Larry tried to hide out on us for a little while and stuff, and he wasn't successful. We will find you. Yeah, can't disappear from this channel for too long. When we get concerned, and we'll call you up. We'll just go through the phone book and just call every Larry until we get the right one. Like, hey, are you Larry? Nice to meet you, Larry. Are you okay, Larry? That's the question. Oh, you're not okay, Larry. Okay, all right, then you're the wrong one. And then you just, move on to the next. We'll do it. We'll call every Larry. We'll we'll do the robocalling that they have set up for like the elections. We'll set up like automated callers and stuff just to call every Larry just to find the right one. All right, so we're an hour in and we only have the eyes. So I think I need to step this up a little bit and kind of move into the uh, the other parts through here. Let me give him a mouth at least. Let me sharpen this a little bit. I do have two colors here. I have a darker color, which I might come back and do for like shading a little bit. But let's start with this. Anyway, kind of got up on like a spent a little bit too much time in the face. But like I said, it doesn't matter because we want to make sure that we get this right. We're not in any hurry. It's important to get it right. But if anybody out there is an artist and you're looking to do pet portraits and stuff, some of the tips and is that you should treat when you're doing colored pencil on black paper or just colored pencils in general, it is a lot like painting. And, you just very lightly, like you don't spend, unless you're really trying to get like a particular color and like really bright area, you don't put a lot of pressure on it. You just kind of lightly come in and make these like little subtle marks. And they kind of just naturally blend together. And then you just kind of build up layers upon layers and stuff. So I've got like a decent amount of fur in here, but I'll probably come back up here and add more layers just to bring out like highlights up there at some point. But that's all you're doing is you're just kind of building up layers. And when you're working on black paper, you got to remember that you're working like with like if you were working on white paper, you're building up shadows, and on black paper, you're building up highlights. So you're kind of working in reverse here, which I've done enough of these where I've kind of gotten my mind around it, but it probably is a a bit difficult to get your mind around your first time out. So I do recommend like everybody who is out there who's a drawer and stuff, try drawing on black paper. It's a lot of fun, but you really are drawing the highlights. So I'm drawing wherever the light is catching the fur on this little guy's face. Um, Instead of drawing the shadows. So you're kind of conscious of the shadows, and you want to make sure that you don't accidentally like make it too bright. You want to leave some of those shadows. So like you see me reach for that eraser every now and then. It's because I got a little carried away with these highlights. And I wanted to put back in like some black areas. Now I do have a black pencil over here, but I that never really looks right to me on this paper. It's better to like just leave the areas black, like or the shadows black. So even though I do have that available to me, I would rather come back with the eraser and fix any kind of issues that I might have. So when you're dealing like with accentuating the highlights, for example, here on the under bit of his mouth, it'll catch the light a little bit, so that's going to be a little bit brighter than the area above it. And because uh, cats and dogs have these like whisker mounts. I don't even know what these are called, but these whisker mounts. You want to kind of extend those highlights out across the face and stuff. And I'll clean this up a little bit, but I don't even know what those are called. Like I draw them all the time, and I feel like somebody told me what they're called at some point, but I always forget. I do drink during these things, so like whatever you guys tell me that I'm supposed to learn from my mistakes and stuff, I they're lost on me. Griffin is a very fluffy kitty, 100%. I like these kind of cats. So Griffin, I would say, is like a medium hair cat. I don't know. It's tough to judge, but definitely not short haired. And I think I prefer these kind of kitties to like a super short haired. A Relentless Mind Work says in 1984, a horse named Seattle Dancer sold for 13.1 million at auction, compensating for inflation. That would be 37.1 million in 2023. Wikipedia hasn't caught up to 2024 yet. Yes, it is a big market. So you gotta remember the people who own these horses, they're like super rich. Like I don't care how rich you guys are. Like I know that I am nowhere near as rich as these people, but I've met these people in real life, and I gotta say these are the type of people who have fuck off money, you know. And I hate to be crude about it, but that's exactly what it is. It's like they have so much money that they have to invent ways to spend it. And one of the ways that they spend it is they invest in basically gambling, you know. So like if you have money, you might put into stock market, you might put into like some sort of investment. Well, this is this is like I don't know, like how people buy art and they speculate on whether or not art will increase or decrease in value and stuff. It's the same with horses. Um, so they buy these horses, they race these horses, and then the business there is that they race these horses and by race I mean they just compete. Okay, so like not all of them are race horses. Some of them are like for like sports and stuff like show jumping or Olympic horses or things like that. But the business model there is that they compete and there's prize money. So it's like probably more people are familiar with NASCAR. So like you compete at these car races and stuff like that. Well, with horses, if you compete and you get a horse that is really good, then not only is that horse winning money in the competitions, that horse is also worth more as like a sire. Um, so you basically breed that horse out and you're making more money. So people are giving you money to basically create new horses. It sounds really seedy, and it really is kind of if you think about it. Like you would not be able to do this with human beings just because of various laws that prevent it, very good laws that prevent this sort of stuff. But with horses, it's not as frowned upon as it's more accepted. And basically, yeah, they they have a racehorse that does very, very well, and then they just breed that horse until that horse can't breed anymore. And then, when that happens, they usually donate the horse. There is a farm, like in the past, it wasn't as nice as this. In the past, there was a lot of problems with retired racehorses being deemed useless, and they were not treated very well. But in recent years, several charities actually have kind of grown up to deal with retired racehorses and find homes for them and treat them with the dignity that they deserve. There's one here locally called Old Friends Farm, and it's very, very nice. They have facilities where they take these old racehorses and people can go and visit them. And eventually when they pass away, they have a graveyard there. It's very nice. But yeah, that's kind of what happens with racehorses. I have friends with horses. They have very large vet bills. That is the problem with owning a horse. That is the reason why I don't own a horse. Like buying a horse itself is not that expensive. Like, and comparatively, like you can get a really nice horse for a couple of $100. Probably like more into like a couple of thousand for a really, really nice horse. But it's not comparatively that expensive. The problem is once you have that horse, you have to keep it alive. And horses try to kill themselves in so many different ways. And whenever they don't try to kill themselves by themselves, they also have like all these like ailments and stuff that so, I mean, it's kind of the same as like when you have a purebred dog. A lot of purebred dogs, they have health problems that you don't normally find with mutts. So mutts generally live longer um, than purebreds, and it's the same with horses. Horses just have all sorts of medical problems, and that's where the real expense is. So you have to board your horse. You have to find some place for it to live. Um, Now, if you have a big old farm, that means that they live on your farm. That's great. But if you don't, then you have to find somebody who'll put your horse up. So that costs money. And then all the vet bills, the farrier bills. So like not just paying for a vet, but you have to pay for what the human equivalent of a cobbler is. So basically, every time that they need their foot care done, somebody has to come in and you have to pay for that. So like somebody will come in and like actually shave off, because like they're like nails, their hooves, they're like nails, they grow, and somebody has to like maintain that. Somebody has to shave that stuff off and reshoe them. All that stuff adds up. So over time, what happens with your horses is that like you end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars just maintaining your horse. Now, the initial cost of getting your horse, you're like, oh, it's only a couple of thousand, like a couple of $100. You can probably get like a horse for under $1,000. Just like a general horse, not like anything special. Just maybe a horse that might sit out in the field, or you might ride it occasionally, or something like that. You can probably get a horse like that for a couple of $100. Maybe a few lower thousands or something like that. But as far as like actual vet bills and stuff, yeah, it's going to cost a lot. Yeah, they have very sensitive insides. Exactly. So they get this thing where their like insides literally just twist itself up. Like I feel like like when I really, really, kind of get in the craving or something like that, I'll go out and eat like a shit ton of like burritos. So when I eat a shit ton of burritos, it feels like my insides are all knotted up. Well, that is like a horse naturally. Like the horses always their insides feel like they ate like 100 burritos. I'm exaggerating, but not by much. But yeah, so that's what kills you. It's the vet bills. The vet bills and just the general caring, like maintenance of a horse. Like even if you're not, even if your horse isn't sick all the time, which it will be, and even if you're not paying a crap ton for vets, you're still paying for like the care of your horse. Somebody has to take care of it. somebody has to reshoe it. Somebody has to like trim those nails. Somebody has to like exercise it. And if that's not your thing, like if you're not doing that every day, like every day somebody has to take it out of the stall and turn it out into the paddock. Um, usually, usually you have like a boarding place and you turn it over to them and they have like kids or something do that kind of stuff for like, I don't know, like minimum wage or whatever. Um, but yeah, that's the deal. You're basically signing on to like a maintenance service. All that weight in contact with the ground on feet. Yeah, so like the weight of them, I mean, they weigh a ton, which is so amazing to me that like when they do the show jumping and they're able to jump over these like obstacles, it just completely amazes me because they weigh a ton. Um, and you're absolutely right. So like all that weight on those feet and stuff, I mean, that adds up over time. Um, there's been recent complaints about camels from that vantage point. So uh, I think PETA, but you know, like PETA gets bad rep, but just animal people who care about animals in general and stuff, they've raised the point that there's been like an influx of like camels in North America where they bring out like camels for like Christmas or thing or like a zoo or something like that, like a little petting zoo. And everybody's got camels now, and it's like they're like, wait a minute, camels are not designed to be outside of the desert, you know, like their feet are designed to work in the desert. They're designed to work on soft sands. They're not designed to be standing out with like in a lot of cases like around Christmas and stuff. They're standing out on like asphalt or something at some petting zoo that's like some nativity scene that's thrown up for Christmas or something like that. Camels are not designed to be standing on that kind of like material. Um, even with horses, uh, you know, when you talk about racing horses or having horses compete, like for show jumping and stuff, the footing, the stuff that they compete on, it's a big deal. Like there's a lot of science involved in that. There's you know, a lot of like animal rights activists who care about that kind of stuff. Like you can't just you can't just throw a horse out in the field and have them run. You want to make sure. So I mean, this is a fascinating subject. As you can see, I'm talking a lot about it. It's because like I'm so fascinated about this stuff. I only know a little bit about it, but you know, I'm just reciting things that I recall from like memory. So I've got a video that I still haven't put up from like the spring, from where I went out to a horse competition where they were running the horses, and like it's called cross country. So they're running the horses across a big old field, making them jump over like, you know, large fences and things like that. And I've got video I recorded. I was going to do a drawing for it. I'll get around to posting it eventually, probably like in December, even though I recorded it in the spring. But anyway, so that's cross country. Um, uh, Eventing. And to give you an idea of how much they care about this footing, they have a guy who goes out there. His entire job is he goes out with like wood, what's like basically a bowling ball, and he like tamps it across against the ground. And there's sensors in it to measure like how dense the ground is to handle the weight of horses running across these fields. So they care that much about horses. Now, back in the 1900s or whenever people started racing these horses across the big fields, obviously they didn't care about it back then. But that's where we're at now. They have people who go out and measure the course with like a density thing. It's basically a bowling ball with sensors in it, just to make sure that the horses and the rider are going to be in the safest conditions as possible. Thanks, Rum Dog. Yeah, I feel like we're getting there. I still have to bring out some of these details and stuff, but we're getting there. Relentless Mind Work says Bactrian camels, probably not pronouncing that right, are more suited for North America. Dromedaries need softer ground. Yeah, maybe that's the ones that they're talking about. But yeah, I remember hearing about that because I love camels, and they do have them. Um, around here, like at Christmas time for like there's a nativity thing. Like I'm not particularly religious, but at Christmas, I want to get in the spirit. So I always go to this. There's this church nearby that has like a really cool like Bethlehem kind of scene that they do every year, and they have camels there. And if they didn't have them, the local lights at the horse park, they have camels there as well. And I always like to see camels during Christmas and stuff. But then I heard about that and I'm like, well, maybe it's not such a great thing that they have these camels out there. Petting zoos just like have a long history of like poor treatment of animals. So I don't think that that's anything new, but the perspective of camels, I do think that they are increasing the amount of camels that they have at these type of things. Like around here, they've always had like emus and things like that. Now it's like a bunch of camels. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those gopher holes, especially like when you have a like these horses, they weigh a ton and they're running at fast speeds across a field, and then they're expected to jump over like an obstacle, and then also they have a human being on it, right? So you can imagine all the problems with that. In fact, it's one of the highest like criticized sports for horses is cross country eventing. I mean, it gets a lot of flack and um, you know, arguably deservedly because there have been times when those horses they just catch the jump wrong or something happens. In my career of working with you know like equestrian organizations and stuff, I have personally seen several times when the horse just misfalls and breaks their neck and they have to put it down, and it's terrible. And the riders in jeopardy in some of these events where they have these like life jackets that when they come off of a horse it just inflates. If that wasn't there, they could break their neck. I mean, it's not anything to just like not think about. I mean, it's something that they have to take seriously because there's like a lot of risks there. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting at least, you know. But obviously, I love horses, like I always have. But well, not always. Basically, when I moved to this town, because like horses are so prevalent here, I fell in love with horses, and they're just so cool. I like being around horses. I like being around horse farms. So like I grew up in like Ohio mostly, and some places down south where most of the farms they had like cows and things like that. So like most of like when you look out over the fields, there's like big fields of like cows everywhere and stuff. And it's kind of interesting around here to see that same environment, but they're just horses everywhere instead. And I love that aspect of living here in Kentucky. And there's a couple of other places in the United States that is like that. I know when I was traveling through Virginia, it's like that. They have like some really strong horse communities in Florida. I know like down near Ocala, Wellington, places like that. They have like a lot of horse communities to the extent that they have them around here, but just around here, it's just a pretty amazing because like horse farms as far as you can see. So that's one of the things I like around here. I like that in spring you see like green trees and stuff like that. You don't see that kind of stuff out west. Kentucky is really beautiful. Uh, Even like it's tough for me to recommend living in Kentucky because you really have to be a certain kind of person to want to live in Kentucky. But I can absolutely recommend it as a place to visit. Um, Everybody should visit Kentucky just because it is beautiful. I recommend coming in spring or fall, especially if you want to like see what the whole horse thing is about. In spring and fall, they have these horse meets where they do the horse racing. Like that's supposed to start up, I think, here in a couple of weeks, probably 1st of October, maybe. I don't know. Save a horse, ride a lawnmower. Yeah, yeah. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I love that song. I like, I just like cowboys in general. Like the whole idea of being a cowboy and being a pirate, that appeals to me. Um, you know, like you don't find these kind of things in modern times. I guess there's still modern cowboys. I guess maybe. You definitely don't want to meet a modern pirate. Those guys are like actual pirates are assholes. Captain Phillips, but cowboys, I guess, still exist in a little bit of a different way. All right, so there's still some work I need to do in the face. Now that I've got the face done, I'm going to start thinking about at least getting his back in here, just so I know. So the face isn't like floating in like midair. Like I want to make sure that I get kind of some of that stuff in. We're already at like an hour and 20, so I'm going to kind of quickly go through this stuff and then kind of develop it a little bit more, maybe after the stream, because I know that like it is a weeknight and some people have to get to sleep and stuff. But I'm going to quickly put in a body here and then kind of come back and work with this a little bit more off camera. Not really off camera, like I'll still record it, but so I did kind of want the back to kind of come out through here. So lined up with this a little bit here, we get some fluffs of fur to kind of define where the back of the cat is versus the front. Or sorry, I should call him Griffin. I always like to know the name of like the animal that I'm drawing because it really helps me as an artist. So I want to call him by his name, especially like when I'm doing like a memorial portrait. So the back side of Griffin is like over here. Get some fur through here. So I'll develop all this more. There's like some little patches and stuff of like little highlights. You can so what I like about cats is they'll spend all the time grooming themselves and everything, but like a relaxed cat by the pattern of fur on his back and stuff because like you can tell that they spend a lot of time sleeping and laying around and things like that. All right, so I get that going, and then maybe some more through here, but I'll come back to that. Through here in the chest area, I want to make sure that I get the direction of the fur right. So about where the nose is down, you've got fur that kind of like radiates out, and then there's like layers in his chest. And most cats are like this. They have, or dogs too. They have the chest hair that is kind of like in these like layers. So even though I'm kind of quickly sketching this in, and again, like most of the details in the face anyway, so it's not like I'm going to come back and add a lot of detail down here. But I probably will come back and add extra layers and stuff just to kind of like let you know what parts are like obviously through here you kind of have a ridge of a fur. Um, so I will make those kind of like details and stuff, but I'm not gonna like add a lot of detail to. I'm not gonna draw each individual strand of fur, if that makes sense. The uh, the whole concept when drawing is to suggest and communicate. Like I talk about this all the time. Communicate the necessary information and then kind of like suggest certain features. And at this point, you know, like I will be developing more of this, but I wanted to make sure that he actually has a body because I spent a lot of time on like the face and stuff. I found that drawing cats for me seems to take a lot longer than drawing dogs, because dogs, it's like they have like less features, I think. Especially like with a furry cat, there's like a lot more to draw. Horse on a riding lawnmower, I can do that. Have you guys seen those videos of like I don't know, some guy like back in the day riding around in a Cadillac with a horse like in the car? Those things are hilarious. But yeah, and basically it's Griffin is a very furry cat, lots of fur down through the chest area. So round about here, you start getting into where the paw is. So like at least the I don't know, like the forearm of the paw. So even though I'm not adding like a lot of detail, you just kind of tracking which way the fur is going in these layers. And I'll come back and make this a little bit better later. I just wanted to kind of suggest all of this stuff before it got too late. I, probably still spend maybe like another 15 minutes on this drawing tonight, but I'll come back and add more details later and stuff, but I wanted to at least get a body in here. So back here in the back, again, you got the same deal where you got little patches where the fur is kind of going all over the place, but then back here it starts heading in a certain direction. And then we talked about the fluffy tail. The fluffy tail is down here, so that's a totally different direction. Just kind of sketch that in, just as a kind of reminder to come back and. I love talking to the pet owner whenever I'm doing a portrait, because probably without Emma's input, I would have like totally neglected the tail. But Emma mentioned that Griffin had a like a very fluffy tail, so like that's what she remembers. So that's what I want to make sure is captured in here. So even though I wasn't really intending to do like even like a little bit of a tail, I was just going to kind of let it fade out. Now I kind of want to make sure that at least a hint of a fluffy tail is in there, so that it meets that requirement. Um, and it's tough to say requirement because it's supposed to be like a creative process, but there are there is a minimal amount of like things that you're supposed to accomplish as an artist, things that you're supposed to communicate in the picture, and for every picture it's different. So um, I like to think about like what is the minimal thing that I need to convey in this. One is Griffin's likeness. Um, Two is kind of like that expression of his face. And three, now I want to make sure that like you know he meets what Emma remembers, which is fluffy tail cat. So I want to make sure all these things are in here, just so that I feel like I accomplished like a nice portrait. So that's what I was thinking. So now that I've got like a hint of that stuff, again, I'll develop that a little bit more off camera. I want to come back to the face and kind of put in some little details. So I do have this gel pen. So there is some like reflections where the light is catching Kitty's eyes. Another one over here. Like honestly, like even if these weren't in the original photos, I would still put these in just because I like these as a like feature. There's like a little highlighted area here. So like in my own particular style, I like to add these like little highlighted areas and then kind of smooth them out. This gel pen works really well with these colored pencils, where you can get kind of like these little highlighted areas. When working on black paper with these colored pencils, the colored pencils are semi-transparent. Like you can really press them into the paper and get like something um, really kind of bright, but you're never going to get it as bright as the gel pen. So I like to work with the gel pen and kind of smooth it out, and it works really well with these colored pencils. Anyway, just get some of that stuff in there. Emma says, "I appreciate your time. It looks like him." Thank you. Yeah, honestly, you know, I appreciate you saying that, but the honor is really all mine. I love creating um, pet portraits for people, and I just hope that it does them justice because like I know how much you cared about Griffin, and I want to make sure that we get a good Griffin in the picture. So, but we'll get there. Like I think this is a great start. There is some stuff that I want to continue with it probably off camera, just because of the time constraints. Like we still have a little bit of time. Like I'm gonna give it another 15 minutes, but I want to make sure that we get all of the little details in there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to look like him. That's like the minimal viable product here. Like you're not duplicating a photo. I think that's something that's important. So like I don't know, different artists different ways, but a lot of artists probably come in and try to recreate the photo that they're working from. I see that as kind of like a guideline. I don't feel like I'm obligated to like basically copy the original photo. I just need to get the essence of the subject of the photo in. But also, I enjoy this. It's a lot of fun for me. I want to make sure that I get the kitty right or close enough to being right. So it's something I enjoy doing. I think most artists are like that. I mean, I think like a lot of artists beat themselves up. Like honestly, like they uh they kind of set unrealistic expectations for themselves. So I always start with the idea that man, I'm probably gonna fail, uh, and then like I like being pleasantly surprised when something actually turns out looking a little bit like the kitty, and I personally think this looks a little bit like him, so I feel pretty good about that. The other thing I think what I do differently, and it's mostly because like I do the live streaming. A lot of people start in an area and get that perfect. Like they'll start with the eyes or something, and I kind of do that, but not to the degree that a lot of people do. So they'll start with that, and then they'll work away from the eyes, and they'll do it like in quadrants and stuff. Because I'm doing a live stream where I hope to have something more or less not necessarily finished, but at least reasonably done by the end of the stream. I kind of work all over the place. So like even down here and stuff, I wanted to make sure I got some of that stuff in, even though that is not complete at all. But I think that's because I do the live streams. Like I want to work on the entire picture at once. In some ways, I think that that's actually a better approach because like you end up making a more consistent picture. So like especially if you're like not used to doing everything perfectly all like the first time around, it's nice to be able to work all over the picture so that like even if it isn't perfect, it's at least imperfect everywhere. Oh, you're more than welcome, Emma. Like honestly, don't think anything of it. I just hope that you remember my words to you would be to remember that, Griffin is still with you. The only difference now is that you carry him with you, you know, in your heart. So so he's not gone. It's just now you carry him with you. That's the way I would put it. And I hope that I hope that with time, you can get back to some sense of normalcy. I know that right now it is really tough. It always is. I don't think we're meant to. It is. It seems like a tragic flaw of how life is designed that we outlive our pets. You know, they should they should have human lifespans. It seems like it is a terrible flaw of how life works that it doesn't work that way. These guys, they don't live long enough. They really don't. And they make up for it by having such beautiful lives. They are adorable animals. They enjoy their lives more than maybe humans do. I mean, a cat doesn't have to go out and work a 9 to 5 job. The cat just lays around the house and smugly judges everybody. Um, so they live better lives than humans, but they're tragically short. They really are, especially cats and dogs. Cats and dogs probably live about the same amount of time, but it is tragically short. It is unfair. It really is. There's no sense to it. It's not good. It just kind of sucks. But again, the solace is in that they don't really go anywhere. They're just kind of you carry them with you. That's my philosophy at least. And like I like to spend a little bit of time thinking about my lost pets. Um, I want to be haunted by my pets. And I think that in a way I am, you know. Kayla says he was such a sweet boy. He looks it, honestly. He just looks adorable. Like sometimes I accidentally draw a cat and they look mean. I think that's a little bit like of a flaw in how I draw them. But this guy, he just looks sweet. I don't think I could make him look mean. Lorraine says Griffin looks like he was a lovely soft furry friend. Absolutely. He just seems like the kind of cat that you want to curl up with and watch a movie. A good lap companion. These are the best kind of cats too. Like I've had a number of different cats over the years. These medium haired fluffy cats, they're always the best. Best temperament too. So again, it just takes time, but there's like a lot of little areas through here that need a little bit of highlighting. Um, I feel like we've got most of the cat in here. We've got some good base to work with. It's just a little bit of time developing him a little bit further. I think I think it looks like him. Hopefully, uh, I'll let Emma be the judge, but don't judge me too harshly yet. I'm still working on him, and I will continue to work on him even after the stream. But I feel like this is definitely a good. I don't even want to say start because like I feel like he's developed enough where this is probably like middle ground. He's not finished yet, but he's getting there. I always forget to put in whiskers, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, hopefully, without messing things up. So I'm gonna put these in just so that I don't forget, because a lot of times I draw cats and I forget to put in the whiskers. I have to be a little bit careful with these guys because like sometimes I draw them and they don't turn out right. I'll develop these a little bit further, but I wanted to make sure I got some whiskers in before I called it done, and quite a bit of whiskers through here. He looks adorable. I love this kitty. I really do. I appreciate you letting me draw them. Like that's what a lot of people don't realize. It, like I appreciate you guys letting me draw them. You know, these whiskers are tough. Needs like a steady hand to draw those. I'm going to move some of that. Just because I didn't like that sharp angle there. All right, let me put in a couple more through here. You almost have to like side draw the whiskers. Kayla says he was so funny because he was so antisocial and run away whenever when I went over, but Em would send me vids of him snuggling up to her. A selective lover, haha. Yeah, that's how cats are. Honestly, cats. You know, if cats attach themselves to you, that is your cat for life. If they don't, then you're shit out of luck, really. And it is usually they attach themselves to one person. So like our cat in my house definitely has its favorite, and it's not me. Like that cat will tolerate me. That cat will like hang out with me sometimes and stuff, but I am not that cat's person. And I think that's what it is. Like each cat develops like a person that they attach themselves to. So sounds like Emma was this Griffin's person, which is cool. Versus dogs. Dogs are like, you know, it's funny because dogs get the reputation of being loyal. They are not loyal. They will like they will love up to anybody. Dogs are like just desperate for attention. At least my dogs are. Like my dogs have no loyalty whatsoever when it comes to like it's basically if you have food in your hand, that's no. My dog probably would still attack the mail carrier or something like that. That's a given. Like my dogs are that loyal, but when it comes to like just people with food and stuff, my dogs are not loyal to anybody. Looks so cute. I would scoop them. Emma says it's perfect. Thank you. Um, I don't think it's perfect yet, but I'm still working on it, and we'll get there. But yeah, I'll probably wrap this up here. I'd like to keep these things definitely under 2 hours, but um, you know we're coming up to like an hour and 45 minutes here, so this is probably a good stopping point. I think it looks enough like him where I feel comfortable um, calling this done for now, and then I'll probably work on it a little bit tomorrow. Like I usually like to take a look at, especially pictures that I do for others. Like if I did, like if I was just drawing a cat in general, like I would probably call this done, to be honest. But whenever I'm drawing a picture for other people, I like to like reflect on it. So first off, I do drink during the show, right? So like I owe it to people to like wait until I've sobered up in the morning to kind of say, well, okay, this is done or not. So I like to look at them in the morning and kind of make that judgment call. But there are like these little ridges of fur and stuff that I feel like I haven't gotten yet. There's like, you know, every cat has them. It's just a matter of time, you know, keep building it up. Rum Dog says, I'm doing a cartoon rendering of Griffin. I'll post it in my community. Awesome. Yeah, so like for those of you who don't know, Rum Dog also draws. And he's got a pretty cool channel. So like if you want to pop over to his sometime, sounds like he's got a quick sketch of Griffin as well. So I like to mention his channel sometimes just because like he's a really good artist. That's what I'm saying. So like at some point we need to do like a double stream or something. Get there's like there's a couple others. They don't show up every time. Like Rome Dog's pretty like pretty much a regular. But there's a couple of other people who draw who pop in every now and then. So it would be kind of cool to like get a couple of people together to where we could schedule something that everybody can participate in, where like a big draw session or something. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it or like how to phrase it. Anyway, I think the eyes look pretty good. There's remove some of this top. There you go. Get that little shading in there underneath his brow. All right, so I really do need to wrap this up soon, but I don't know. I don't think I have OCD, but like I do kind of just can't stop tinkering with it. I think every artist has OCD to some degree. Otherwise, you wouldn't get any kind of realism in. But you see how it is. It's just like you keep adding layers to it. And at some point, you have to call it done. And you don't really want to overwork it, but you don't want to. Like, if you think of it as like cooking, you don't want to undercook it. Anyway, the angle of the face is really good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's something. So sometimes when I start these streams, I just kind of like draw um without any kind of thought or like pre-work or anything like that. Um, Whenever I'm doing like a portrait of somebody's animal and I want to get it right, just to be on the safe side, I do measure things out with like a ruler and kind of put in some preliminary marks just to decide where things are. So I measured out to the best of my ability. I mean, it's not perfect, but I measured out like where the ear would be in relation to the eye. Sometimes I do that just like freehand, and I think I'm getting better at it. But also, like I don't want to risk it when I'm doing somebody's portrait. So I did measure those things with a ruler beforehand just to make sure that I kind of figured it out. The other thing is I did kind of want to figure out where it might fit on the paper. Like I know that this is 9 by 12 paper, and I kind of wanted to figure out where the face might fit. Anyway, all right, I think we're done for tonight. Like I said, there's probably some more work that I need to put into this. But I don't want to keep people and make you guys stay up all night and things like that. I know that a lot of people have work and school tomorrow, but I do think it looks enough like him to where I feel like he's there. He's there. He's coming out of the paper. I'll probably spend some more time on his body and some of the little details of the face. Um, we'll continue working with that. But I do feel like Griffin's here, so I feel like that's a good stopping point. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to the weekend. Again, I always say the best part of doing Thursday night streams is you go to bed, you wake up the next day, and it's already Friday. So how awesome is that? Mama Q says, "Thanks again, Jeremy. You're the best." I think you guys are the best. So I appreciate you guys giving me such a wonderful cat to work with. Like the I draw animals all the time. Not all of them are as photogenic as yours is. I appreciate you guys letting me work on this, and I'm very sorry for you guys' loss. I know it's a terrible thing to deal with. So um, I appreciate the opportunity to like bring some sort of solace with a portrait, and it's what I love to do. Uh, look at this dog. I love this dog. Anyway, so I will post this up when I'm done with it on the community channel and send it all along to you guys. But in the meantime, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I will be back on Tuesday, and I will see you guys then. So in the meantime, have a good one. See ya. Bye. Have a good weekend. See if I can remember.